Right in. Welcome everyone to today's webinar Wednesday, How to Boost Your Sales with Dejavoo. I'm Amber Josie, VP of Marketing Communications at Electronic Payments, and I'll be today's host and moderator. It's with great pleasure and excitement to be here with our guest presenter, Chris Clark, iPOS Systems and Dejavoo Systems Vice President of USA Sales. Chris brings 25 years of industry experience to his role and manages the iPOS Systems sales force. He works on emerging projects and sales opportunities for the company, and his relationship with EPI spans a period of 8 years. Over the past few years, iPOS Systems has brought to market 2 new great hardware families, the QD and P series, and a new full omni-channel gateway iPOS pays. Chris will be doing a deep dive and hopefully a demonstration into these solutions that will be available for you to sell through electronic payments. And you'll be happy to have these products, no doubt, in your sales arsenal and may prefer them over some of the other solutions you're currently selling. So with that, let's extend a warm welcome to Chris. Chris, thank you so much for being here with us today, and we look forward to today's presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Amber, for the awesome introduction. And I really do thank you guys and EPI for the opportunity to do this again. We did it a number of months ago. Some new stuff has been added. We're now much closer to a full launch with some of the platforms we've been waiting for. So it was a perfect timing for this. So excuse me, I'm just going to jump right in. Wanted to give a quick commercial about our company and our brands. For those of you that don't know some of the background and our history, which goes back 30 years. And we started a company in the early 90s called Littman Narit. The Narit was the brand of terminal that Littman USA brought to the market. Became quite popular. I started with the company right around 2001. This was the same founder of Dejavoo. So when Littman USA went public and was unfortunately acquired and dissolved, we came along with a company called iPOS Systems, not Dejavoo Systems. So we kind of got a name of Dejavoo Systems because Dejavoo is the brand of hardware. But iPOS Systems is actually the name of the company, and we operate under this umbrella that brings a number of products to the market. And our products have a lot of different names, and there's sometimes a lot of confusion which one is which. I hear a lot of tongue-tied going on. So I'm here to try to kind of keep all that stuff straight for you as well. So as you can see, the timeline of the company, we actually went through about 3 generations of hardware before we brought the popular Z line to the market. And then we're going to get into these new lines today, the QDs and the Ps, which are generation 5 and 6 of hardware for Dejavoo. One of the things that I always mention about this is because the advantage that we've been able to do with our technology and our engineering is as new hardware generations came about, we never had to rewrite software from scratch. And that's a huge advantage because you think about maturity of a solution, maturity of software, how many bugs you can hopefully eliminate. When you keep bringing software into new hardware, that maturity keeps coming along. And so by the time we got to, the QD line, it's a software that is code that goes all the way back to our infancy stages. And that's a big advantage. We hit the ground running with the QDs with very minimal issues. The spin solution that you see there in the timeline is our integration. This is an API that POS systems use to use Dejavoo hardware and facilitate payment, very much like Exitouch uses. So for those of you that have that sell Exitouch and sometimes you attach a Dejavoo to it, Spin is the technology that makes that happen. It's kind of like a middleware. iPOS Pays is our gateway. We're going to talk deeply about that today. That's our new omni-channel solution that we are about to go crazy with you guys, and that comes along with the P line of terminals. So just wanted to kind of put this message out to you guys. This has been a long time partnership and it's been building and building. EPI is probably, if not the biggest, one of our largest, most important partners. We value that very much. We're thankful for it. We are attentive to it. I have weekly phone calls with internal teams, and we speak almost on a daily basis. So we have a very good heartbeat with anything that you guys are experiencing good, bad, or ugly. And pricing, we've been able to give you guys very competitive pricing. Pricing is always available in your agent portal for hardware, for monthly fees, for the different products Dejavoo has. And you know, we've done our best to give you the very best that you can go out and be competitive with in the market. So trying to set like I said, keeping things straight with these different brands that we have. So Dejavoo, this is what we call the terminals. Dejavoo is a back office, kind of like a merchant portal. If you weren't aware we had this. This is something that can be used on the Z or QD line, and it's optional. So the Z and QD line we'll talk about is potentially a product families that you can go out with no monthly fees, no back office necessaries, no extra technology. But if you want to add some value and check out some of the really cool stuff Dejavoo does, you can reach out to us about that. We can send you a demo video on it. It's another 45-minute deep dive demonstration on that product, but it's a 9-year-old platform that has matured. So I really don't dig into it too much on these newer calls where I'm trying to get you into the new, fresher stuff, but it is still a powerful product to add to the offering for those two families. And so we'll move forward from here. I wanted to spend a lot of, excuse me, I got a scratchy throat tonight. I wanted to spend a few minutes on what we call dual pricing in the market. It's been a very hot topic. There's a lot of chatter going on in the last year or so, and it's gotten even hot and heavier in the last few months when Visa has done a lot of rule changes and flipped everyone upside down. And so every ISO that we work with has really kind of come to us with maybe their own interpretation of what's the next level of compliance for their merchants. What do they want to do? And all we can say as a software provider is we'll give you however you want to do it. We're not here to take a commercial stance or give advice in a way that, says this is the only thing you should do. We're only going to give you this one way to do it. So we're saying we've had the maturity. We've always been a flagship for fee-based programming or fee-based configurations in terminals, surcharge or cash discount concepts. And so we've come to the point where that maturity has been an advantage to give the ISOs whatever they want. There's been a few changes in how our software looks. And so there's a few different options today for this. And so I was going to just bring up a quick little video I made, but I'm not really going to play the video with audio. I'm going to kind of just give you some visuals. So this screen that you're seeing right now would be a Z model, like a Z9, a Z11. It would be a QD terminal as well, because as you see with the QDs, it's pretty much exactly the same user interface. But I wanted to show you where we came from with what we called our tender-based pricing configuration to answer the market's need for dual pricing, and where we're going into what's now available. So with this one, you may or may not have had the cash button on the screen. And that was kind of one of the things too, was some ISO said, I want the receipt to look one way or another. So here we go. Cosmetically, we gave them configurations for that. I want the screen to do one thing or another. And we did things for that. When we got to, performing a transaction in this environment, you'll see when I punch in the amount here in a second, you'll come to what we called our tender-based pricing screen. And there was a couple of goods and bads about it. It gave you what you needed. It gave you your credit price, your debit price, your cash price. If the merchant did not accept debit, you can have the debit line eliminated. If the decision was to not apply a fee to debit, then debit could say $100 in this example. And so if you pressed credit or debit, it would proceed with transaction. But when you pressed cash, it would stop you in your tracks. And I can try to zip to it if I get the right timeline on it here in a second. You'll see where I choose cash and it aborts. And it says, please run the transaction as cash, transaction abort. And it took you back to the home screen. Not the worst thing in the world, but not the best experience. So you also had to have cash loaded. And again, some ISOs didn't care. If cash wasn't loaded, at least you had the dual pricing screen and it was okay. And you moved on. You told the merchant, go use their cash register to do the cash transaction instead. But we wanted to make things a little bit more smoother. So if you see right here, if you've never seen it before, you see that because I touched cash and then it did this and took you back to the beginning. So we've come up with a new configuration. And we call it amount first. So take a look at this. This can be the new home screen for a Z or a QD terminal. I find it a much smoother interface, transaction flow. I think it's even available on a traditional processing merchant if you like it better. So we're eliminating those tiles on the home screen. And this could be your new idle screen for the Q, D, and Z line. So idle amount first, because we're asking you for the amount first before we do anything else. The core menu is still the same. We've just elevated the buttons that were at the bottom of the screen up into the middle of the screen, as you can see. So your favorites button is still the same. Your hamburger icon on the left, which is your core menu. The core menu is identical. But here's the difference. Notice what we've done. So some partners came to us and said, well, I don't want to see card. Excuse me, they do. I don't want to see credit. I don't want to see debit. I want to see card. So this is one reason we changed this configuration to be able to accommodate for that request. But also what was great about this was cash was much smoother. By pressing cash, it would just spit out a cash receipt, complete the transaction, record a cash transaction, and do a cash batch at the end of the day, upload cash data to our back office, Dejavoo. So that was a much better experience there. And of course, we were able to accommodate the card request. So how do you run credit or debit? Well, once you press card, then that would come up. And if the merchant accepted debit as well, then pressing card would say choose credit or debit. If it was a credit only merchant, then it would just move into the transaction as you see here. Well, there's the choice, but that would not be there. That was my point. If debit is not enabled on the merchant. Okay. So this is available now today if you like it better, and the card is what you want to see. Wonderful. As far as cosmetics on receipts, the same capabilities are on both configurations. For example, some customers did not want the fee to show as a line item anymore on receipts. They want it suppressed. We do that. We've done that. We've been able to do that for years. Maybe they want a line on the receipt to say discount is 0 on the card receipt because you're not getting a discount. Maybe on the cash receipt, you want to show a discount line item. We've been able to do all that stuff for years. So wanted to make sure that that's a point that's known. One thing is very exciting to us that we've developed in the last couple of months is a very unique true cash discount program. And I'm actually going to let a commercial speak for itself here so you can see how it works. What I'm about to show you is available pretty much on all 3 product lines today. Okay, guys, so I'm going to load this for you and I'll be quiet for a moment. And there's a little audio here. We're going to unmute.
About compliance on cash discount. Worry no more. The next few minutes of your attention will end all your concerns. Most current programs simply add a fee to an existing price and do not demonstrate the discount process. When there is no discounts offered, how can they be logically called as cash discount programs? iPOS Systems presents True Cash Discount Program, the first ever payment terminal to offer discounts on list prices using its own cash register function. But how does it offer true dual pricing? While offering dual pricing, the program lets merchants preset a percentage and offer a discount to customers who pay by cash. Let's explore the transaction flow of the program. Enter the list price. List price is the all-inclusive price of a product that is set by merchants. According to the percentage that the merchant sets, the program will offer a discounted price for cash payment. The entered list price will remain for card payment. As you may notice, the program offers dual pricing, but the difference is that it offers a discount from the entered price instead of adding a fee to it. The program takes disclosure to the next level. For all card receipts, the merchants can disclose the amount the customer could have saved. For a cash receipt, the merchants can disclose the amount the customer saved. The price label is customizable based on your preference. Best practice is for list prices to be marked on items. Merchants can also display the itemized dual price on both physical and e-receipts. So what else can the program provide? Introducing the built-in cash register. Using the cash register, merchants can add the price of multiple products and arrive at the total value. As you can see, the total amount is being calculated with each entry. Once the merchant clicks proceed, the items will be listed with both the card price and the discounted price. And the total discount amount will also be highlighted. At this point, merchants are required to show consumers their detailed itemized pricing and discounting screen. Preferably by using an external PIN pad, the consumer will see the items as they are entered and before choosing their payment option. Upon clicking the Payments button, the card total is carried into the transaction screen. Now proceed with the transaction. The dual price option will be presented to the customer, and they can opt to pay using their preferred payment method. To bring more flexibility, merchants can choose to offer discount for debit card transactions. The payment device can automatically detect debit cards and offer the discount. This will bring merchants one step closer to compliance on cash discount. Merchants may award a discount on a card transaction as well and apply it before the payment execution. Merchants can always find proof of their proper cash discounting process as needed. Remember to recommend merchants to list their items clearly and disclose to consumers the availability of cash discounts at the point of sale.
All right, so there's a lot of really unique features in there. Three main bullet points to this true cash discount idea. Number one, you're assuming, and we want the merchant to hopefully do this, and when we've conferred with Visa about it, they feel that ultimate compliance is to change your list items in your store. We hope that the merchant does that. The second part is they don't want to see any kind of elevation of the cost to the card price. So typing in $100 and making a card price be $104 is not really the ultimate compliance that Visa is looking for. The dual pricing is something that's satisfying them. So we designed this to say, okay, if I want to type in 104, that's the card price. And then we're going to show a discount to cash for 100. So that's one thing about it. The second thing is if the merchant didn't do the full disclosure to consumers or they don't have a way to do so, we have the cash register function with a pin pad facing consumer. The merchant can actually type in the price of items, and then we will show the dual pricing to the consumer for them. And then also, as you saw on the receipts, there's something quite unique there. We can show on the card receipt, you could have saved this much. On the cash receipt, we say you saved this much. So some pretty cool, unique features into that. And it's an option for you to use moving forward. Just want to talk a little bit about the Z line. Some people really, it's beloved for them, and for others, maybe they're looking something new for Dejavoo. But I think for either category of people, you're going to like the new stuff a lot more. The Z line is 9 years old. This slide was made last year. So in 2023, this is a 9-year-old product family. So it's think about technology, how much that changes in time. And there's some other competitors out there that are using this similar product family, and it's really 9 years old. So we're continuing to offer it because some people like it. It'll continue to have no monthly cost. A number of years ago during COVID, we kind of had our own virus of our own, but it has been completely eradicated. You do not have to worry about that if you choose to still use this line. Inventory is actually much better today. We don't really have the challenges we do anymore. Logistics sometimes are problems with boats getting into ports, and I'm sure you guys see things like this on the news. So sometimes that happens and there's small delays. But whatever happened with the software back then, fully gone. You can have full confidence of that. And that won't ever happen in the newer families. Those are newer manufacturers. And what really happened was in the lower levels of the hardware anyway. So really anybody using this hardware could have experienced that in the market. So let's talk about our new Android families, okay? This is where technology is going with terminals as Android. Why? Well, it gives you more sophistication. It allows us to develop faster, engineer code faster, and actually is giving us more sophistication to add features. Like what? How about multi-language? These terminals can do Spanish and English right now, and we're also working on a Chinese version of the software. I think it's pretty much ready, but we're checking on grammar and stuff with that language. But this is a bilingual platform. These terminals are really easy to set up with Wi-Fi. You already know what an Android device's Wi-Fi configuration screen looks like. If you have an Android phone, you have an Android tablet. So there's no learning curve to get into this and do it. So for vendors like us and software developers to not have to develop a screen to do a connection setup such as Wi-Fi, that adds a lot less time of engineering to getting the product to market. So we just use the Android setting screen and it's perfect. It's a very minimal cost versus the Z line. When you guys look at the pricing that you have for these, you'll see that it's almost a no-brainer with some of the models to just migrate from deploying any more Zs and getting into these newer families instead. They've actually been on the market for 2 years now. We started our first deployments in the summer of 2021. We've seen much better reliability with this product. We're seeing a failure rate of less than 1%. We're seeing a ton less tampers. Tampers happen when they're supposed to, right? But, you know, we've seen with some other models in the industry that sometimes they are more sensitive than they should be. This product line is just performing phenomenally. The feedback we've gotten from the market, extremely positive. It's the same software you already know. I kind of said that a little bit earlier. So when you play with a Z and you already know how to use it, everything, it's the identical software in this terminal. How to run transactions, the menu screen, the bells and the whistles, all identical. Okay. There's, like I said before, and I want to stress that, no monthly fees. With this gorgeous new Android family, you can move up to better technology, more sophistication, and still a no monthly fee platform. Omaha certification is done on this. We have TSIS, we have a bunch of other platforms, but I know Omaha's, you know, the bread and butter that you're going to use on this one. We do have the EPI gift product certified on this as well. That's also a pretty big point to know. We're also working on the Sigma platform on this one as well. So that'll be a future announcement as well. So I want to just take the next few slides to introduce you to the products in this family. So there's 5, well, kind of like 6, but we'll talk about that. So this is called the QD1. So categorically, you still have a battery operated terminal, which we call the wireless models, or a countertop terminal, or a pin pad device. So that's how we'll go through these. So this is a battery one, okay? It's got 4G and Wi-Fi capability. It's got a printer on board. Why do we call it a new edition? It's like taking a terminal and wrapping an OtterBox around it. So it protects the device. It can take a little bit more of a beating, bouncing around in a truck, or, you know, these cabbies or whatever, maybe you want to use it with them, or even in restaurants, you know, maybe they're taking it to the table and someone's prone to beat it up a little bit more, drop it accidentally. That would be the reason you might want to use these. It's not going to be your mainstream. There's 2 main ones I think you're going to probably do in the product family would be the QD2 and the QD4. We'll get to that. The same SIM card that you guys use today in all the Dejavoo products, or maybe some other products out there, those are going to work in here. So there's no difference in SIM plans and what you know about the way the SIM cards from EPI deployed work with the Dejavoo terminals. It's going to be the same here. Just to go without saying, every terminal in every product line, past, present, or future, they always have contactless. They've always got built-in pin pads. So I'm not going to mention that from one model to the next. It's just an absolute truth. All right. The next one, like I said, this is going to be your new Z9. This is your new battery operated 4G and Wi-Fi capable device. Holy smokes, wait till you see the difference in the battery life on these Android families, both of them that we're talking about today. They're gonna be a workhorse, lasting the entire day and then some. All right, the battery life on these is way improved. We do also have a very inexpensive silicone protector that you can wrap the terminal in, like a skin. Same thing like for your cell phone. So you can give this one a little bit of extra protection as well. We have a pretty nifty little device called the QD3 that's now available in this family. This is a pocket size, smaller than your cell phone, full-blown credit card terminal. They're sold in 2 flavors. It's got a battery, no printer. They're sold as Wi-Fi only, or they're sold as a 4G Wi-Fi. So we do digital receipts. It's a feature we have called Go Green. Go Green's been available for years. You can use it on Zs. You can use it on QDs. You can email or text message a receipt to a customer. You have to have de novo turned on for that to happen. So you will get a full suite of a back office if you want that digital receipt delivery capability for just a few bucks a month. But on this product, I gotta require it because I don't have a printer. So this particular model, it's always gonna have that monthly fee. Just keep that in mind. So you can either get the Wi-Fi only model, which you'll see the price is very inexpensive if the merchant knows how to set up a hotspot on their phone and they're running around mobile wise and not, you know, static at a storefront. This would be a great little device to have, and you know, you don't have to pay for the extra cellular model. I do want to pause here and kind of differentiate a product that's in this family versus the one that's sitting here on your screen. And I don't have a slide for it yet. We haven't made the brochure, but there's a pin pad. Okay, and let me go to the next terminal first, and then I'll kind of circle back. Actually, it might make more sense. So this is the QD4. This is going to be your new countertop terminal. Aside from the Z11, this is the upgrade. So when you look at the price between a Z11 and a QD4, look at the difference, guys. It's a no-brainer. I can understand maybe the low level or the low cost entry level terminal that you may want to still use as a Z8 for, you know, a less technical savvy or less needy merchant with feature functionality. Fine, Z8 might still be the play when you look at the price difference, but you know, if you want to go to something faster, more reliable, lightning fast, and just making the merchant happier with the newer technology sometimes comes with a little bit higher of a price. And so you'll take a look at that and see. So this terminal needs electricity. It does Ethernet or Wi-Fi. You guys may discover that this terminal has a battery inside. It's made for light backup. It's not made to run on battery all day. The merchant needs a QD2 if that's what they're trying to do, or a QD1 or a QD3, depending on the use case. But the battery backup in here is like if the power goes out, it's not going to crash in the middle of a transaction. It won't shut down. So it's made for light, you know, time lapse of backup time. So there's pin pad options for this, of course. You need pin pads for your countertop terminal. So I'm going to show you the first one, and this is the one I think I prefer going into the future. We call it the QD3 pin pad. So I want to differentiate. It's not a battery operated device like I just showed you on the previous slide. It is a wired pin pad made to connect to the QD4. I have a pretty not beautiful picture of it, but just to give you a visual, this is what it looks like. So it looks like the QD3, like I said, but it's no battery. It is wires coming out the back with a little junction box you see on the top right corner of the picture. And we provide a pin pad cable. We call it the UU cable, the letter U cable. And that's what connects the pin pad to the QD4. So there'll be this USB female here. You take the USB cable, you just plug it in there. And on the QD4s today, you will see this junction box as well. So for any of you that may have tried the QD4 in the last couple of years, there was not this box on the back of a QD4. There was a different wiring design. There was some downsides to that old design. Number one, if you attached a pin pad, you could not do Ethernet. You had to do Wi-Fi. That is no longer true. Okay, guys, as long as you're using the newer QD4s, which have been in production for about 6 to 9 months, maybe a little bit more by today, you should see this junction box on the back of a QD4, and now you can use Ethernet with the terminal attached to a pin pad. You should also see a little bit more stability because you don't have the other wiring design where we had to remove clips and screws, and it was just a port you had to plug into. So we're seeing much better stability here. We do carry a limited supply of the QD4 in white, which I can show you this. So if people like them in white, this is a special order item. You can grab one of these, and maybe then you like the pin pad in white. So we brought the QD4, the QD3 pin pad in white also. So there they are side by side, just so you can get a visual. Otherwise, predominantly, it's going to be black stock that we carry, but the white is a special order right now for the QD4 and its pin pad. If you like a bigger screen pin pad, we are still carrying the QD5. This is like, think of the a Z6 connected to a Z8 or Z11, right? So you're either going to use the QD3 pin pad or the QD5. I do prefer the QD3 pin pad, but if you like the bigger glass, it's going to be the same size as a QD2, QD4 glass screen, and that could be your consumer-facing pin pad as well. It's the same price, so it's just a matter of size, which pin pad you prefer. All right, and I think we're about to make a pretty big announcement. I'm going to let EPI do it in their own grace and time, but final testing has been completed, and we're going to migrate from using the Z6 to the QD5 with the Exatouch integration. So again, you're going to get a much faster device, way more reliable. Merchant's going to be a lot happier. So final testing has confirmed that this is now working, and hopefully you'll be able to deploy these very, very soon and move on from the Z6 or even maybe the PAX device that you were using. And it's going to be a perfect integration. All right, so yay on that one. I was waiting a long time for that. All right, now let's step into the new platform. There was a question that came up. Let me see if I can answer it real quick. Steve said, can you provide images showing the card versus cash price on the terminal? We can take that offline, Steve. Reach out to us. We can definitely show you some stuff on that. I don't want to waste too much time in the recorded webinar, but we can definitely do something for you on that. Someone asked, can you go over one more time the difference between QD1 and QD2? Absolutely. So they're both in the same category. QD1 is a battery operated 4G Wi-Fi capable terminal. So is the QD2. So there's no difference there. The difference is, number one, of course, you can see this one has a physical keyboard. The other ones don't. But it's also made to be a bit more rugged. It's got a harder outer shell. It's really just meant to take a bit more of a beating. That's the QD1. And it is more of there is a difference in price. You probably want to know that. It's roughly around $100. So check your pricing model with your internal portal. That's really the two differences. Nothing much else you need to know. All right, so now I want to talk about this awesome new platform we have called iPOSGo. All right, this is our new omni-channel gateway solution. It's a gorgeous new interface for the ISOs that use it to board the merchant. It's a gateway for the merchant to access. It's bilingual as well. The website is bilingual. The terminals that are going to come into this platform are bilingual. What do gateways do? They give you the ability to be in control of a transaction. You can do tip adjusts, refunds, voids from in the gateway, even after the batch is closed. I'm going to demonstrate that. But yes, think of a merchant that calls you up, batched out, forgot to add his tips, and now there's a lot of work that's got to be done. Somebody's got to go get card numbers. Somebody has to expose and compromise those card numbers to merchants to rekey transactions. This new platform eliminates all of that. The merchant, in a self-service manner, can go into the transaction screen of the gateway, find their transaction. There's a gazillion different filters that make it easy to find it. And with the click of a mouse, can do an additional auth all by themselves to take care of that tip that they forgot to do. So in essence, it's still the same effect, right? You have to do a new authorization, but I eliminated all the customer service and all the legwork and all the bypassing of security to pass back a card number to the merchant. It's pretty big. So let's talk about certifications. I talked about this product line practically 8 months ago at Impact in 2022. And, we were really excited because it was launched, but it was only launched with TSYS. And that kind of was a failure to launch for EPI and for some of you that are on the call. Some people decided to try it with TSYS and it's been a good ride and they're happy, but obviously using TSYS through EPI had its limitations. You couldn't do debit. I know it cost you a little bit more. Fiserv, what can I say? I think you all know Fiserv just takes a little bit longer, a little bit's kind of a maybe light way to say it, to do certifications and to do projects. So it took much longer than expected, but I guess we should have expected that to get Fiserv certified. So it's here. I want to talk about this right now. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, Nashville North has been available on this product line. You could do it today, and Omaha is going to launch next week. No joke. We have our final, there's 2 more phone calls that Fiserv makes us go through. We've actually been certified for about a month on Omaha. Fiserv makes us go through 2 final phone calls they call wrap-up phone calls, and you have to do a live transaction and whatever. So this Friday, whatever the date is, June 30th, yes, June 30th, we have our first of our last 2 phone calls. The second call will be early next week, but we believe we're going to ask for a pass, and before the second call even happens, we're going to tell you guys you're ready to go. The boarding information's already been provided, so Omaha is going to be here. So there's no reason that you cannot launch with this by next week. You've already got the Nashville, you got the TSYS, Omaha is going to be here, and off we go. So what else does this platform provide? There's a virtual terminal. You can send invoices to customers via texting or via email. You can attach invoices in the email. You can do, pay now, like taking payments over the phone or card not present transactions. You can do recurring payments. We have a customer vault. So you can put cards on file, and that actually happens automatically when you're using even a physical terminal or one of our processing endpoints within this platform, and there's a number of them. It'll automatically create a customer in the vault and put the card on file if a digital receipt instead of a printed receipt was given to the consumer. So as long as you do an email receipt or a text receipt, the customer vault automatically adds this record, and the card is now on file. You can do e-commerce, hosted payment. We offer a solution for that. We have generic hosted payment or true hosted payment for merchants' websites where they need us to facilitate payment through the gateway. There's a pretty cool promotions feature in this platform where on digital receipts or paper receipts, you can set up different campaigns where you can have logos and QR codes and messaging that point to websites. It can either be at the merchant level, or EPI can decide to do something where every receipt that comes out of this platform can say this transaction was powered by electronic payments, and it can push it to your website with a QR code and your logo if you want to. The dashboard is really great with data aggregation. So as the transactions start flowing, you'll see there's some really good tools that the merchant has to slice and dice their data and chop it up. The reporting capabilities in here are excellent. Tip reports, batch reports, server reports, payout reports, stuff like that. And we're going to show you a price point similar to the competition, but instead with an Android terminal family, guys, instead of, like I said, a 9-year-old Linux family. So I think this is going to be your new go-to. You're going to see your pricing with EPI on that. And support. I can tell you, I've been with the company since its infancy. I could have been elsewhere. I've been offered from other competitors, okay? But our support, our know-how, our technology, our hardware, I think it's one of the best. And we just don't sleep when it doesn't work. We've got a great call center. We're bilingual as well. We don't outsource our call center. It's right under our own roof. And I just think that that's a big winner to know about our company as well. So let's talk about the terminals, what we call the P line. This is going to be the terminals that are exclusively in this platform. As a matter of fact, the QD line now operates in this platform, but it's TSYS only. So again, maybe not the thing you want to do on this platform. You may want to just stick to the QDs on the old platform, or let's say old, but the other platform. So the P line, and you're going to see the price. It's the best price of any Android terminal in the industry. And it's cheaper than a Z line. So it's cheaper than an older terminal, okay? So take a look at your pricing for the P terminals as we show you the models here. It's very attractive. These are multi-language terminals as well. So these are Androids as well. So let's move into the 3 that we're offering today. We're going to have a few more models coming before the end of the year, but this is just to get us started. We call the P1 the countertop model. So this is the one that needs electricity. It can do Ethernet. It can do Wi-Fi. It's got a printer. Contactless, EMB, the whole thing, debit, right? Nothing else to mention there. It's the staples that you need in a piece of hardware. But wait till you see the price on this, guys. It's awesome. And these are all cloud-based terminals. These go through the gateway. So you need an internet connection at all times. There's not an offline mode. There's nothing really in the terminal. I could run transactions all day and then decide to go put it out in my driveway and run it over with my car, and I don't have to worry about losing a batch. The batch is in the cloud. So we do cloud-based batching, like a host capture type of concept. So we don't even have to have the terminal on at night. We don't have to have a connection. We don't care. We're going to go ahead and be able to do a cloud-based transaction and batch it out in the cloud. The merchant gets a notification if they desire via email. They can set up email addresses. Different store managers can get a specific email just for their store. So it's whatever you guys, however you guys like to do it, and the merchants can do that. This is going to be an awesome device. You're going to love this one. The P3 is great. It's sleek. It feels good. It's reliable. This is your battery operated one. So this is like in the same category as QD2 or Z9. And this has a 4G Wi-Fi capability, uses the same SIM cards you guys use today. It's touchscreen with a keyboard. You'll notice that about the difference in this Android family. So they're not just all glass, they're touchscreen with keyboards. The battery life is insanely good on this one as well. And we have our last but not least P5. I think this terminal is a game changer. It's kind of like the QD3, the 4G Wi-Fi model. It's a pocket-sized, battery-operated, looks like a cell phone, 4G Wi-Fi device. It can be used as a standalone terminal, and the price is very, very good on this one as well. Check it out. For a merchant that doesn't care about paper receipts in the store or when they're on the go, this is just the perfect solution. I'll answer a question real quick that came in. Does the new gateway work with any notable point of sale systems that we are familiar with? Well, any of them that have already integrated with us. I have to speak generically on that. I don't really want to stay neutral with point of sale systems on a webinar, but we can share with you a list later of integrators that have developed with us. But our integration solution, what we called SPIN at the beginning of the call, is a single API, a single job that the developer has to do for the rest of his life, for past, present, or future products. So if in the past they've done a development with us on a QD or a Z, for example, they can use these devices with no further development. So our list is our list, and it works with everything we have. All right, and I think this one's very exciting. This is a product we have called iPOSGo. I'm going to demonstrate this to you. This is for your phone. So here's the big point about this one. Think of the ability with just a cell phone to do a card present qualified transaction. No hardware needed. Card present qualified transaction with just a cell phone. I have this today. It's available on the Androids. It's going to be available on Apple phones by the end of July. Unfortunately, it's TSYS only right now, and maybe for another few months. We do have a project open with Fiserv to add Fiserv to this product, but unfortunately, this is the only part of the system that's going to be TSYS only on your initial launch. But it's pretty exciting. Like I said, no hardware to sell, no hardware to maintain, and you're doing card present transactions using contactless. So I'll do a quick demonstration on that, and it's available now on the Google Play Store. All right, I want to thank you for the attention, but we're not done. We're going to do a little bit of a dive into the terminals now. So let me pull away that curtain and show you our new P terminal interface. So this is actually a terminal sitting here on my desk. If I showed you my webcam, it's actually right here. This is live. How am I doing this? Notice I'm using a software. You can see it up in the corner of the screen called AnyDesk. AnyDesk is free. You can put it on a computer. You can put it on your phone. You can put it on your tablet. And it's built into my terminals. It's built into QD terminals. It's built into P terminals. So what does it allow you to do? It allows you to do FaceTime with the merchant's terminal. Think of how much easier that would be when they call you up and they're trying to ask you for help, whether it's the help desk, whether it's a sales rep, and the guy, knows the cell phone number of the sales rep and he calls you directly. That's the relationship you have with your merchant. And instead of having to get in the car and try to figure out what he sees or trying to ask him on the screen and going back and forth with that, you could fire this up on your phone in seconds and watch his screen in real time. If you're actually doing it from a computer with a mouse, I move my mouse around and you see this blue dot floating on the screen. That happens on the merchant screen as well. So he's actually the cat following the laser pointer, pressing what you're telling him to press. Again, this is available on both the QD and the P series. Really cool. So let me just show you a quick little orientation of the device, jumping around a little bit with how do you run a sale. So you see how it says sale in the top left corner of the screen. How do you change transaction types? You just touch that little button and out fans the different ones that are available to the merchant. So that's how you would change it to a refund or a void, for example. Okay, it might be password protected. I just touched refund and then you're moving into refund. So it's always defaulted for sale. You see this red tag swinging on the screen. Tagging the transaction is a mechanism we're using to do prompts, server prompts, invoice number prompt, table prompt, something like this, right? So when you touch the tag, you'll see 3. I have 3 enabled. You can have 1, 2, or 3. You can name them whatever you want. You can make them optional. You can make it mandatory. So there's different ways you can utilize this capability. I'll just put in a clerk ID for now, and then you'll see it's assigned. On the bottom left corner of the screen is where your red gear takes you into doing the language change. So right on board, you can change your language to Spanish. On the QD line, you actually have to request this in the download file. So there's a partial load that happens to change that in the file. Otherwise, the P series, you do it on board. You see how you can change the theme here. You can change the font feel if you want to. So there's a couple of cool little aesthetics you can change. You can change the keyboard beeping in here, date and time. If we ask you for a serial number or something, you don't have to dig around on the back of the device. You can click, you can click on forgot. I'm sorry, you can click on about hap. It shows us the build number that the terminal is loaded with. It shows us the serial number down below, what type of terminal it is. So we get some good data in there. The yellow star, very familiar, also been copycatted to some of our other non-Dejavoo devices in the world, but we call this the favorites menu. We've had it since our very first design, and we call this favorites because it's the popular day-to-day functions the merchant needs. They don't have to go digging around in menus, so it shortcuts it instead. So you can see how we've done it here with this new design. This is also where we might do an update. So how do terminals with Dejavoo do updates? In the P series, they're going to do it automatically. They're going to do it on a daily basis, even if the terminal's never not been used. If it's on every 24 hours, it's going to check in for an automatic update. With the QD series, we check and actually with the Ps as well. Well, let me think about that for a second. With EPI, Z-Line and QD terminals both check in daily. That was a gift that Dejavoo gave to EPI a year or two ago, and I just remembered it. Most terminals only check in every 30 days unless they pay for de novo. So Dejavoo gave a pay per feature to EPI for free, and all Dejavoo terminals through EPI check in daily. You're welcome. There's a question that came up. If you have a merchant that has the P1 and the P5 on the same mid, would they use and pay for only one iPOS pay? Yes, if the P5 is a pin pad. So I kind of actually slipped on telling you this. What are the uses of the Ps? They can all be a terminal by themselves, or any one of them can also be a pin pad facing the consumer. So it doesn't matter which device you'd like to use as the main terminal or the pin pad, we can do it. There's no cables. It goes through Wi-Fi and it works very well. And you don't have to worry about tethering. You don't have to worry about proximity because the cable's not long enough and all of that. So if it's a P1 and a P5 where one of the devices is a pin pad, you're only paying for one device, not two. Okay. You also have the ability with our virtual terminal to use any one of the P series as a pin pad. And in that environment, you would also be only paying for one device. So you can have perhaps a car dealership and it's a car, the finance guy, and he's doing card not present all day, he's running payments, and then someone comes in to buy a car. So you want to get that card present transaction. So on demand within the virtual terminal, you can press a button and wake up a pin pad that's sitting there waiting to be told what to do. And you're then getting that card present through the virtual terminal. All right. Also in here, I just wanted to show you the upgrade app. That's where we do downloads manually. So if something had to happen right now with the merchant on the help desk, speaking to the help desk, you can go into upgrade app and you can see how fast this goes through. It's just lightning for a quick update. I'm going to hit download parameter. And it's done. And when it comes back up to the main screen, I just updated the device. Okay, on the bottom right corner of the screen, you're going to see this little blue help desk guy with a headset on. And there's some really cool features in here. Number one, this is how you start any desk on the P series. You tell the merchant, press the blue guy, press remote diagnosis on the bottom left, and it's going to read a session number that we type into any desk, and we hit go, and the merchant just has to hit an accept button to accept the connection, and we're watching their terminal. What else is inside here? A contact us button where the support desk phone number and email address can be shown. We have Dejavoo's on here right now. We have a call me back feature. We actually have had this for many, many years. It was on the Z line when de novo was enabled. It's on the QD line when de novo is enabled. It's built into this platform also. So instead of waiting on hold, the merchant says, just call me back. Let me know when you're available. They can pick a reason why. There's a couple different reasons in here to select from. And then you can put in a callback number and a ticket is created that is notified to the help desk, and they make a call back. So they get a notification via email, and there's a module where they can go in and check for new tickets. And the merchant is also carbon copied on that. So if they know if a employee pressed the button while they weren't at the store, they know someone needs help, they'll know that a notification was sent. This is also really cool. How about training videos built into a terminal? Does anyone else have that? So instead of the merchant calling up and saying, oh, I forgot how to do the refund, or I forgot how to do a tip, can somebody walk me through it? The device can walk them through it. So they can press on the little blue guy, demo videos, press refund. It's going to load up a video for them to watch. All right, I won't play the whole video, but you get the idea. We'll save some time. All right, I want to take you through a transaction just so you can see the flow of this gorgeous new interface. We're just going to do something simple. This one's actually configured for the dual pricing, not the true cash discount. So we're typing in the 100 here. Now, this is a prompt that can be turned on or off. Think about a pay at the table environment. So this is something that can be a cool feature for you. We actually have that on the Z's and the QDs also, just nobody ever really asked or used it, but it's there. You can have a present device to merchant consumer prompt. This tip prompt can be turned on or off, doesn't have to be here, but you can see it's pretty, it's good looking. Oh, lost connection. Let me reconnect. Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi might have choked in the house here. Let me go back to it. All right, coming right up. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so back to the transaction. All right, we'll skip the tip screen for a moment. And this screen is a discount screen that can be turned on or off. So you see the fees already being added. But in the case that you want to maybe give the merchant the discretion to bypass the fee and not have it, you can see there's a possibility that that can be turned on or off. It can also be password protected, as you can see. Otherwise, we're going to actually have this screen be skipped and take you to your dual pricing screen. So we can do cash. I can type in how much they gave me in cash, and it'll show me what changes do. You hear it made a chime. Confetti flies on the screen. The transaction is complete. The merchant copy could print out here if you made it turned on or off or printerless. You can do emailing or texting of receipts. And like I said, that was what creates the automatic customer in the vault. If we did card, this is cash, of course. So let me finish and we'll go back over and do card. We have this cool little feature. If you want to turn it on for customer survey, you can design what the verbiage at the top of the screen says, or you can turn it off. And then let's say you did a texting of a receipt, the happy face and the sad face response, the merchant can design feedback that automatically gets sent to them in text. Oh, thank you for being happy with the experience, whatever they want. Or on the negative side, say something else. And on the positive side, we added a pretty cool feature where they can also send a URL to their feedback page. Let's say they have Yelp. They're listed on Yelp, or maybe they're listed on Google reviews. So within the text, that link to the Yelp or the Google reviews can automatically be sent to the consumer to go leave a positive feedback on that page. All right, let's go through a card transaction. And so I'll press card this time. You get to the payment screen. You see a number of options. I can either tap, insert, or swipe right now, which runs it as credit. I can press the blue button and change it to PIN debit or EBT, depending on if these things are enabled. Of course, the buttons may or may not be there. So let me tap a card first. We'll finish it that way. Okay, there's your approval. And then the same thing for consumer copy options. And we'll finish that. And I'm going to do one more because I wanted to show you something pretty cool there at the bottom. If you notice, there was a red button. So we actually just added this feature. We talked about sending an invoice to pay, right? Which our virtual terminal initially was the thing that you had to use to do it. Text or email. Well, now you can do it from a terminal. That's what the red button is. So I can actually say, okay, I'll send you the invoice, pay me later. Whatever that situation is with a merchant that trusts the consumer on that, but that's another discussion. So we put in a number that we would be texting the consumer, or we would be typing in an email address that we would be sending the link via email. You can put in a time to pay, day, a week, a month, and you can do reference numbers or descriptions. So once you create that and send it, that's being sent right now, and it creates a way that you can also check for it. So you can see check status. That's under your favorites. So if you go here, okay, and then you'll see pre-sale ticket. I'll go into that to show you two things. Number one, you have the send link. So if I switch over to the button on the bottom right, send link, you'll see it's pending right there at the top. You can also do other things like check the status and refresh it. It'll show success when it's done. You'll see some other ones in here, expired or success or decline. Different ones show up with different statuses. On the other button, pre-sale ticket, it's just a table feature. So think about a restaurant where you want to turn over tables faster. There's the waiter, he's running back and forth, puts down the check, comes back to check for their form of payment. Oh, they're paying by credit card. Let's run over to the station. Now let's run the card. Now let's bring a receipt back. Now it's the tip line. I got to go pick that up. So instead, we can do this pre-sale ticket. I can put in a phone number, which would be maybe the server's number. Let me do that first. So let's pretend this is the cell phone number of the server because they want to be notified when they got paid. And we put in an amount. I'll just leave that amount. That's fine. And it just prints a receipt. What it's doing right now is printing a receipt showing the business name, the amount, and a QR code. So by scanning the QR code, it brings up a payment screen, which actually I can share with you because I have AnyDesk on my phone. So let's show you AnyDesk from my phone. And let's show you what the consumer would do. Right. So I'm just going to try to do this and not show you my messy desk. All right, and here is the receipt. So if we scan that, here's your payment screen. So it'll show the name of the business. It'll show you the amount being processed, and you can add a tip, and then you put in your card data. So you can do this all pay at the table. Okay, so that's available here too. All right, let's get back to the beginning. I guess while my phone is on, let's show you tap on phone. So we're going to launch iPOSGo. I shut it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to shut it. Hold on. Let me bring back AnyDesk. Okay. So I just want to do a quick demonstration of tap on phone, which we call iPOSGo. And you have to make sure your NFC is turned on. Oops, there we go. Okay, bring it back. So now if you see, it's the same interface. It's a terminal on your phone. There's nothing different to learn about using this product. It's all identical. It could do the dual pricing, true cash discount, surcharge, whatever you want. Okay, and so all I'm actually doing right here is taking a credit card that has contactless capability. In my wallet, 3 out of 4 cards support tapping. So, you'd hope that with consumers as well. And now I'm tapping the card to the back of the phone. And I did that bad because you got to know where your sweet spot is. It's right in the middle. I'm fumbling. Hold on. There you go. That's card present. All I did was tap a card to the phone. You can tap phone to phone too. So the consumer might have Apple Pay or Google Pay, and you tap phone to phone and it's a qualified card present transaction. You'll see, at the end, you can turn on signature capture if you want as well. It's off on mine right now. And then there's your digital receipt options on a cell phone. You also have this other button. What if the consumer doesn't have a form of payment that taps? You can bring up QR code. QR code, the consumer will scan it. And again, it'll look like what I just showed you with the pre-sale ticket, a payment screen. So they can type in any card they want. We can really take any form of payment that the consumer wants to give, even if they're cards or they don't have any form of tapping to do. Okay. With a few more minutes left, I'm going to show you some glancing into the gateway. And I know this is kind of running over a little bit, so I apologize. We're going to just jump back to the gateway. And this is what it looks like from a merchant dashboard. So there's lots of data aggregation, as I said, from here. If you guys want to dig into this a little bit deeper, you can have your own login. So there's a test environment for this system where you can use your own credit card and play around and not be charged. How do you think I'm doing these demos? So if you want to play with it as a merchant and then get used to it, so you know how to sell it and get excited about it, because you can play with it and touch it, and then get your merchant to play with it and touch it. We can even set up merchants in here to play around with if you have an opportunity that's worth doing that extra effort. So definitely you can do this as well. This is the whole system. The transactions show up here. I'm going to just skip user management. That's where the merchant can have additional users in their system, store level users, business, corporate level users. You can see transactions are listed, not only approved, but how about declines? I got an error message because I ran an amount that triggered a response in our test box, right? But you'll see transactions in here for everything, success or decline. Let me get back to that. So you'll see the green ones are successes, the red ones are declines. We keep everything from the beginning of time. Somebody asked really quick, can the ISO log into the merchant's virtual terminal? Yes, you can. So if you know the credentials of the merchant, you can just use their username or password. Or if you have an ISO level login in here and you're building your own files, you can log in as merchant. You can basically impersonate them. So each of these transactions you'll see has the receipts retrievable here, merchant copy, customer copy. You'll see my terrible baseball team as an example of a digital logo that you can put on the receipts. The merchant can do that all by themselves over here on the left under settings. The merchant has the ability from looking at the receipt to email it again. They can print it from here. They can do the void. They can do a refund. So even if the transaction is batched, they can just do a partial void. or full void or a full refund or partial refund just by changing the amount, and it processed. Okay. So now you'll see it was partially voided. You can see cash, right? So if I go to filters, you got a gazillion filters up here. So we can dig into that. Alternative payments can be gift. Oh, an EPI gift is about to be certified on this platform. Yay. So we're going to have the EPI gift product on this platform. I should have said that from the beginning. That's huge. So you're going to have your gift product on this platform, guys. So I want to switch over to alternative, and then you'll see the cash transaction that I ran today, or the gift ones might flow into here. So again, you got your cash receipts and all of that. CloudPOS is what we call the virtual terminal. So it's not called virtual terminal, it's called CloudPOS. So it's a very simple screen that you get to where you can either do a pay now function, you can either take a card over the phone, or you can grab somebody from the customer vault, which over here is called My Customers. My Customers can be created manually inside here as well. I'll just jump to that, show you real quick. So here you see all the customers. They've got either their email address associated or a phone number. You see on the right the card that's on file. You can add additional cards. You can edit the record because maybe, again, you only captured the cell phone number at the time and you want to complete the customer record, so you can update it that way. And then what else can you do? You can run new sales from here, which would run you into the CloudPOS to run a card not present. You can set up recurring payments from here. So you can just set up different rules for your recurring payment, the frequency, when it's going to end. You can even do it on a date, on a specific date, or even a successful count. So think about like an installment plan. So after 5 payments, it's going to stop happening. You can do that. If you want to see the activity of your recurring payments, it lives here under CloudPOS. And so then when you click on it, you'll see on the right activity of payment and how many payments have happened so far. And then you can edit the record, which means you can kill it or change the rules whenever you want. Invoices live here. So remember the one I did on the terminal? It's here in the system. So we created an invoice from the terminal. So that's one way to do it, or you could do it from the virtual terminal itself by send payment link. So that's the other way. And you'll see how the invoice gets created. You can text it, you can email it, and all of that. Pay now again allows you to do, I can just grab an address that's on file, a customer address, email address, cell phone number, whatever, and then it shows you the cards that you can pick from that are on file. PIN pad, as I said, all you got to do is click that, and that's how you wake up a PIN pad to perform a transaction. There's a few bells and whistles in here you can play with, and the whole virtual terminal can do sales, pre-auths, or refunds. You can do itemized billing, which takes you into level 3 qualification. I'll just say that for the moment. It goes hand in hand with inventory. That's good. It has to be created here on the left. So you create your items, and then you go to CloudPOS, and then you use the itemized billing function. Really cool. Want to talk about our QuickBooks Online integration. Let me show you how fast and quickly this works. So I will go to my settings. So first of all, remember the happy face, sad face? That's where we set up the follow-up texting, the Yelp URL, whatever for that, setting up email addresses, changing your logo. But let's jump down to QuickBooks, and I'll do 1 or 2 other things. So first I'm going to kill my QuickBooks connection. We're going to start scratch. So now you see I'm not connected. Now this is QuickBooks Online only, everybody. So you have to know that. We're going to enable it. This is what the merchant would do. It's this easy. They're going to hit connect to QuickBooks. It's going to ask me to log into my QuickBooks Online account, and then the magic happens. That's it. It's done. So now if you go back and log in and you look at settings, we're connected. We're now talking to QuickBooks Online. So what can we do? Well, you can create an invoice in QuickBooks, maybe attached to a customer, and then we can mark that invoice paid by using the virtual terminal and putting in an invoice number and putting in the customer information, or anything that this platform can do. Virtual terminal, card not present stuff, e-commerce, the tap on phone, a P terminal can all report to QuickBooks in real time and create sales receipts, sales transactions, and report dollars into their dashboard on QuickBooks Online automatically. So all they have to do is set a default service. Now notice when I click on this, there's a bunch of these services to choose from. We didn't make that up. That's talking to QuickBooks. So these are coming from the merchant's QuickBooks Online. So I'll say I'm going to put it in services by default. And all they have to do is choose a default ledger. If they do that, now everything this whole ecosystem does will report to QuickBooks in real time. Sales, receipts, excuse me. Okay. How else can you do it? Let's say we go to payments and we go back to our CloudPOS. We're going to go back to the QuickPay. Okay, now notice QuickBooks details at the bottom. Services is already checked. Quick checking is already checked, but I can change it. If I start to type, it'll find other ones in the QuickBooks system. Okay. We can put in a customer name. There's different customers in QuickBooks. We'll type in this one. It comes up. Something else comes up if I type in different things. And you put in the invoice number if one was created in QuickBooks. Let me show you that real quick, just so you get the visual. I'll log into my QuickBooks here in a second. Right. Oh, that's fine. Okay, let me bring this over here. All right, so just pretend that we are the merchant's QuickBooks Online. We're going to go to a customer in my database. We'll create an invoice real fast. So we go to customers, and then we are in the customer list. Let's pick Rego Travel Agency. Let's create a new invoice. No, it's QuickBooks Online. Somebody asked if it was QuickBooks Desktop also. It is only QuickBooks Online. All right, so we're going to create an invoice. We did an installation and the price was $75. And let's save our invoice to the system. The invoice number is going to be 1174. And when I exit, you'll see invoice 1174 is now showing open. We'll go back over here. And if we can either just type it like this, and we can just type in the Rego. Okay, but what I wanted to do instead was show you how it checks it. So we go here. Oh, sorry, 1174. Then we go here. And it found the customer name, and we apply it. Now everything's ready to go. We're going to process that payment. And notice how the amount's in here. And what did we do? We added a fee. Okay, so you can add your fee or you can have it removed. So you can do your surcharging in here with bin range checking, or you can do cash discount in here. We are also adding an ACH product to this very soon, probably about a month away. So you could really have a dual pricing feature in here with cash and credit. You can email them to pay us, or we're going to pay right now. So I'm going to take a card number on file, or I could type one in and we process it. Okay, and notice how it says the invoice has been updated for QuickBooks. We sent a text message and a receipt to the customer for their receipt. You can view it right from here, and then right from here, they can send it to a printer if they want. If the merchant wanted to print it to their Windows printer, we gave them that ability. So now let's refresh. And now you'll see the invoice shows paid with a new entry at the top where the payment was made. Okay, it's adding a negative balance because of the fee. That's because I have a different setting over here. Notice where I can include the fee. If I don't want to, I can just put the base and it would report deposit, just the 75. Okay, so that's how invoices work. Other than that, you don't have to create the invoice. Like I said, we can just report sales into it, and it would come up over here, and you'll just see the payment coming in for that. So all of these ones you see down below, that's me just running things through the terminal. This is the one we ran earlier on today's date, the card payment. So I didn't do anything with QuickBooks, and just reporting into QuickBooks. Okay, batches is a very great, very robust screen. You can do open batches, closed batches. Since the beginning of time, everything's going to get saved. Let's do a forced close of a batch. So let's show you that. Here's my terminal that I have on my desk. Okay, here's the transaction we ran earlier, the $104 is the cash I ran as well. We're going to push this batch close. You can do tip management from here. We were talking about that. You don't have to be in the terminal, so you can tip adjust right from here. It's very clean and easy, but let's pretend I didn't do that. Let's batch out. And oops, I forgot to add my tip. So here it comes. You go back to transactions. There's the transaction right there. It's been batched, but we can do the additional auth. Put in the tip amount. And the merchant just took care of the tip that he forgot about. It's that easy, guys. Okay. Some other things you'll see on the left while this is spinning and finishing. Developer Central, that's where you have documentation if the merchant needs to do website development for hosted payment. We have our API documentation right in here. The merchant has access to it. We also have some information for them if they want to do POS integration. That's our spin, or iPOS transact, which is using our tokens to perform additional transactions. So that's what Developer Central is for. The reports are your tip reports and your batch reports. So there's some really great capabilities of downloading some spreadsheets in here. You really need to play around with it. I mean, I could sit here for a long time, the rest of the day, and show you all the stuff. Tickets are the call me's. But hopefully, if you want, guys, get a login. You can go to EPI and get a test login, or we'll do it too. If you have a direct relationship with one of the Dejavoo sales rep, you can get this set up as well. I think I'm going to wind it down from here, guys. It's that was a lot. I thank you for spending the extra time. That ran over a bit. Does anyone want to run any questions on the Q&A board? Otherwise, I'll pass it back to Amber.
Thanks so much, Chris. This was a fantastic presentation and overview. The demos were great. While everyone has an opportunity to still submit some questions to Chris, I'm going to share some exciting updates on our end. The first, of course, is our next webinar Wednesday. We've teamed up with another great partner of ours, American Express, to host an informative training about how to drive revenue and deliver value with American Express OptBlue. Olivia Hayes, our senior partner manager, will share critical program updates that you can use to stay competitive in the field. She'll share where you can get useful merchant resources, such as signage and supplies. And trust me, guys, their new signage and supplies that are available are really, really nice. You'll want to make sure that you get your hands on those so you can deliver them to merchants and prospects. She'll share how you can obtain a sales agent website for OptBlue and other Shop Small initiatives that'll help you guys. So you can register at our event using the URL on the screen. And of course, our next big event is our very own Impact 23 conference, just 3 months away. This is our very own partner conference that our team develops and hosts exclusively for our ISO and agent partners. It contains all the training, hands-on learning experiences, networking opportunities that you all could ever want, and it's fit into 3 days. It's a 3-day program, and you will walk away with so many resources and tools and contacts and networks in that amount of time than you would probably throughout the whole rest of the year. So what's really great also is iPOS Systems is a sponsor of this program, and with their support, we're able to offer the most dynamic, engaging program for you all. So thank you so much, Dejavoo. Thank you, Chris, for supporting this event. You were there last year. You know it's such a great program, and we look forward to seeing you there again this year.
Most certainly. What a great
yeah, it is a really wonderful time. We do a great job. And what's even better, guys, registration is completely free. And we offer free airfare for any of our attendees who are flying in. So it's a you know, it doesn't get better than that, right? As you can imagine, this offer and the conference is wildly popular. So we suggest reserving your spot soon because the registration is filling up really quickly. And you can register for that at impactepi.com.
Thank you for that, Amber. One last question came in. When the merchant requests tech support through terminal or gateway, does the request go to EPI or Dejavoo? It's going to go through EPI. EPI is getting all trained up on this new platform right now. We have a relationship manager here at Dejavoo, a dedicated resource assigned to EPI. We are within driving distance of the New York office, so we might even plan an on-site training if necessary for deployment and tech support. But training has already been ongoing, so you guys should be all geared up. Other than that, thank you very much once again, everyone. I really appreciate having the honor to do this for you all. Please reach out to us with any sales questions or anything. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Chris. Look forward to seeing you at the Impact Conference.
You all as well. Take care, guys.
And everyone on the call, hope to see you there. Thanks for your
Yes.
participation today.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.